Hello everybody. This is the course on digital system design. In this lecture, we will be looking upon the synthesis of synchronous sequential circuits using D flip-flop and T flip-flop. In order to carry out the synthesis process, we will take designing of counters as an example and look at how counters which count sequentially or in any arbitrary manner with the help of a D flip-flop or T flip-flop. Once we know how counters can be designed, then we can extend the same constant for designing any finite state machine, whether it is a Mealy based machine or a Moore based machine. So we will now look at a familiar example which we have already discussed, namely designing of a up counter which is a synchronous in nature using a toggle flip-flop. So we have a 3-bit up counter to be designed using 3 T flip-flops, and how do we go about doing it? So for that, first, whenever we talk about a synthesis of a circuit given a problem using a particular flip-flop, then we need what is called as the excitation table for that flip-flop. In the case of analysis, given the input for the flip-flop and the present state, we find what will be the next state. Whereas the excitation table differs from the characteristic table of a flip-flop in the sense that in the case of excitation table, the present bit stored in the flip-flop is given and the desired next bit to be stored is also given. Then we ask the question, what should be the input to the flip-flop to make this transition happen? In the case of the T flip-flop, there is only one input, namely T. The present state is denoted by the Q output of the flip-flop, and the next state or the next bit to be stored, we will denote it as Q next or Q plus. So for each combination of Q and Q plus, we want to find the excitation to be given in the T input to make this transition possible. That is why we call this as the excitation table. So there are 4 possible combinations of the present state and the next state. The present state can be 0 and the next state can be 0 and so on. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 are the 4 possible combinations of the present and next state for which the desired excitation needs to be computed. We know that when the flip-flop does not change, then that is as a result of a input 0 in the T input of the flip-flop. When the T is 0, then the flip-flop does not change. So whenever the present state and the next state are 0 or the same value, the corresponding excitation at the T input has to be 0. So when Q is equal to 0, Q next is equal to 0, T has to be 0 for this change to occur. Similarly, when Q is 1 already and Q plus is also desired to be 1, to make this transition possible, that is, there is no change in the bit, you have to just give 0 in the T input. So these 2 rows can be arrived at based on that. But whenever the Q and Q plus differs, it means that the flip-flop toggles. To make that happen, we have to give a 1 in the T input. So when Q is 0, Q plus is 1, we have to give a 1 in T input to make this toggling occur. Similarly, when T is 1 and Q plus is Q is 1 and Q plus is 0, that there is a toggling. To make that happen, we have to give T is equal to 1. So this is what we call as the excitation table, and we need this in order to find the desired T input and then synthesize this T input and give it to the appropriate T flip-flops. That is all the whole design is we will be talking about. So to this case, we will take the familiar 3-bit synchronous up counter and design it using this principle with the help of the excitation table. So we have 3 bits which are denoted as A, B and C. So A being the least significant bit, C being the most significant bit. So because it is a 3-bit counter, we have 8 possible states, 0, 1, 2, 3 all the way to 7. It is a mod 8 counter, and we are interested in an up counter, which means that from the count 0 we have to go to 1, from 1, 2 and so on. So for every given count or the present state, we can find out the next state. So when we are in 0 count, we have to go to the count 1. From 1 we go to 2, 2 we go to 3 and so on. From 7 we go to 0. So this is how the present state and next state can be tabulated first. Next thing we have to do is to write down the corresponding T input of each of the flip-flop. That we do with the help of the excitation table. Okay. So we can easily mentally remember what the excitation has to be and also derive the T equations or look at the excitation table. So for the T input, TA, which is the T input of the A flip-flop, how the excitation to be. Note that to give an idea of how the circuit is going to be, once we derive this TA, TB, TC, we will putting it on and synthesizing and arriving at a T flip-flop, which you have already seen. Okay, it's not shown in this one. So the TA, we will have one flip-flop called A flip-flop, B and C flip-flop. Same clock goes to all of them. We will use AND gates to derive these values and feed it to the T input, where the input to these AND gates are in turn obtained from the A, B, C outputs of the flip-flop. So that is the circuit you have to have it in your mind. So now the T input of the A flip-flop, we know that when A and A plus take the same value, TA has to be 0. When A and A plus differ, then TA has to be 1. Similarly, when we talk about TB, we should look into the columns B and B plus. Based on the present value of B and the next value of B plus, TB has to be fixed. Similarly, when it comes to the TC input to the C flip-flop, you should look in the C and C plus. This is how we proceed. Coming to TA, we derive TA by looking at A and A plus. Whenever they differ, you put a 1 here. Whenever they remain the same, you put a 0. You can see that A and A plus differ in all the rows. When A is 0, A plus is 1, therefore TA is 1. When A is 1, A plus is 0, therefore TA is 1, and so on. So TA is all the time 1, which means we can simply write the equation TA is equal to 1. Coming to TB, look at B and B plus and write down TB. Or more specifically, using this excitation table, we can write it. Here Q is the present state and Q plus is the next state, and corresponding T input is given. When it comes to the derivation of the TB, you mentally replace this T as TB and this Q as B and Q next as B plus, and look at B and B plus and decide on TB. This is how the TB column is being fixed, by looking at B and B plus. So here B and B plus are the same, so TB is 0. Here b is equal to 1, b plus is equal to, b is 0, b plus is 1, therefore tb is 1. So here there is a 1, here there is a 1, therefore tb is 0. And this is how tb is being filled up. Similarly, coming to tc, look at c and c plus and fill these values. Okay. For the first 4 rows, c is 0. So if you look at c plus, if they are same, tc has to be 0. If they are different, tc has to be 1. So you can see that tc is nothing but same as copy of the c plus, because c is always 0 in this case. So tc is same as c plus as long as c is equal to 0. We will make use of this concept later. So you simply copy 0, 0, 0, 1 in these first 4 rows. In the second 4 rows, we can see that c is equal to 1. So look at c plus. When c plus is also 1, then tc is 0. When c plus is 0, then there is a toggling from 1 to 0, then it has to be 1. So if you know that c is 1, then to get tc, you simply complement c plus. This is for the case when c is 1. So for the next 4 rows, they are complemented. So this 1, 1, 1, 0 becomes 0, 0, 0, 1. This is how tc is being obtained. Next, what we do is we realize the find out the equation for Ta, Tb, Tc. We already saw Ta is equal to 1. Coming to Tb, you just use a K-map to reduce it. So the input for the, you treat Tb as a function of 3 inputs A, B, C, and use a K-map. So we have put C along this to span the horizontal axis, BA to span the vertical axis. We have put BA as 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0. And C is 0 for this column, 1 for this column. We have done so because then it is easy to extract these values and fill these K-map. Now look at this column, C is equal to 0. This is C is equal to 0. So here also the ordering of 0, 0, 0, 1, but of course 1, 0 is there, after that 1, 1. Here again there has to be a change. So you have the corresponding mapping of this state table rows to the rows of this K-map. Only thing is there is a change. So you can directly read out this TC and put it here. So the input for here is 0, 0 and then a 1 followed by a 0. 0, 0, a 1 followed by a 0. For C is equal to 0. For C is equal to 1 column, this is the C is equal to 1. You just look at the B and A, the last 4 rows. Again the order is the same excepting that there is a change in this one. So you simply read out the corresponding bottommost 4 entries of TC and then fill it in an appropriate manner. That is, you have to put 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. 0, 0, 1, 0. This is how TC is being put. Then now we can reduce it. There are 2 ones, so club it together. So C goes away. You have you read this term as BA or AB. So TC is nothing but AB. Coming to TB, so you have got TB here. Again we use the same thing. C you put it here and BA you put it here. So read out this column, but only thing is as you read out you have to fill in this order. This order and then this order, but the way you have to read out from this is 0 1 1 0 and then 0 1 1 0, 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. This is how you have to fill this column followed by this column, but while reading it you read 0 1 1 0 and 1. So fill it, cover it. So these 4 ones can be covered, and this reads out, the corresponding term reads out as what? A, because C changes, B changes, A remains as 1, so it is A. So this is how the TA, TB, TC can be synthesized, and then the circuit can be drawn. Now what we will do is, we will just generalize it. Instead of an up counter, 3-bit up counter, we have a state diagram, okay, with wherein transition happens between arbitrary states. Again, this can be in general a Mealy or Moore state machine, where there can be an input and output, and whether it may be a Mealy kind of a machine where the output is also dependent upon the input, or a Moore kind of a machine where the output is purely dependent upon the state. We will talk about all those things later, but we got an introduction to it earlier. But now this is also in a sense a state graph of a FSM, finite state machine. There is no explicit input, there is no explicit output, and the states are given. There are 5 states in this state graph. So 3 bits are required to differentiate these states. So the states are encoded using state variables, that is 3 bits. So this is, we'll start with a state denoted as 000 and go to a state denoted as 100, then 111, then 010, then 011, and then 000. So this is how the machine goes, okay. So from one state to another state and so on. So in one way this is a finite state machine. It can also be viewed as a state graph of a counter, but going through non-sequential counts. It doesn't go from 0 to 1 to 2, 3 and so on. A ripple counter or a modulo 16 counter goes from 0, 1 to 15 and then back to 0 and so on, in sequence, up or down. Then we looked at BCD counter where the count terminates at some value 9 and then goes back. Now this is a little more generalization. For example, this, if you treat it as the count 0, from 0 you go to 4, 4 you go to 7, 7 you go to 2, 2 you go to 3, from 3 you go to 0. So there are certain counts which are not there, and counts are not, you don't visit the count or states in any fixed manner. It's arbitrary. So such a non-sequential counter with only a few counts being present in the cycle is what we are looking upon. And for this kind of an state graph, we will design the circuit based on the D flip-flop. So this explains the synthesis of a synchronous circuit using D flip-flop. Again, here the circuit is just a counter. So now again we need to first look upon the excitation table for the D flip-flop, because we are going to have D flip-flops, 3 D flip-flop. Because there are 3 bits, there has to be 3 D flip-flops. Immediate conclusion. They are synchronous circuit. So we have a clock, the same clock goes to all the D flip-flops. That is also, there is no choice, it's all immediately fixed. The only thing we need to fix is what goes as the D input for the 3 flip-flops. That is all we have to decide. That we do based on the present value and the desired next value of that flip-flop. So For that we need the excitation table. That is, given the present bit stored in the D flip-flop and the desired next bit, what should be the corresponding D input that will make that happen? We know for a D flip-flop, whenever a clock edge comes, appropriate clock transition comes, then the D input is simply stored in the flip-flop. So Q plus is nothing but D. Irrespective of the previous value of Q, D is nothing but Q plus. So this is the excitation. So you simply give the desired Q plus to the D input, then that gets stored. So the excitation table for the D flip-flop is very simple. The equation is Q plus is equal to D, or if you have a table like the T flip-flop like this one, what we will do is, imagine this is D in place of T. Don't worry about Q. The desired Q plus is the same as the D input. Wherever there is 0, you have to put 0. Wherever there is 1, you have to put 1. You don't need. So it is essentially the table has got only 2 entries. Q is irrelevant. When Q plus is 0, D is 0. Q plus is 1, D is 1. So Q plus is equal to D. Now look at this state graph, translate it into the state table. So the state table can be arrived at from the state graph by noting down the present state and the desired next state. Again, what we do is we list out all possible present state in the usual order of a truth table or a state table. That is, A, B, C are the bits. A is the least significant bit, C is the most significant bit. So the bits values or the count or the state values can be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 all the way to 1, 1, 1. For each one of them, you look at the state graph and find out what should be the next state. So if the present state is 0, 0, 0, here it tells the next state has to be 1, 0, 0. So you fill the next state variable's value, that is C plus B plus A plus, as 1, 0, 0. The next entry or the row is 0, 0, 1. Look, there is no such state in the state graph for 0, 0, 1. So you don't care to what next state it goes. So you put simply a dash, 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 indicating I can't tell, or rather I don't care. We will make use of this dashed entries and use them as don't care terms when we translate to K-map later. Next, you have a row that corresponds to 0, 1, 0. So there is a state 0, 1, 0 which leads to 0, 1, 1. So against this you put 0, 1, 1. Then for 0, 1, 1, that is 3. The next state is 0, 0. So that is put here. Then for 1, 0, 0, the next state is 1, 1, which is put here. The next two states are not present in this state graph. Okay. So for them you put dash, dash, dash. And from 7 you go to 0, 1, 0. So that is also get put here. Once you have got C, B and A as the input and C plus B plus A plus as the output, next what you have to do is we have to list out the D input for A, B, C. That is a DC, DB and DA. So in strict sense you have to put 3 more columns called as the DC, DB, DA. Write it out. We want actually the logic expression for DC, DB and DA. Treat them as 3 functions with 3 inputs A, B, C, and use K-map, reduce it, and you will get the output DA, DB, DC. But now because you know for a D flip-flop, the D input is nothing but Q plus. So the DC is nothing but C plus. This equation, if you substitute in place of Q, C or B or A, we see that DC is C plus, DB is B plus, DA is A plus. So we are not explicitly writing it, but you can treat them as DC, DB, DA. You can also mention it on the top. You don't need to copy it again. So you only make use of this one as the functions and find out the value of C plus in terms of ABCs, and that we do using a K-map. So here is where the C plus we have put. We are going to treat C plus or DC as a function of ABC and get the values. So we have put C here on the horizontal row and BA here. Again, that is advantageous because you can just read out these values and fill it here. So how do we read out? That is, you have to read these values and fill it here. Wherever there is a dash, okay, you can conveniently put a cross there because it is a don't care term. So how do we read it? You always read it as, you start from, you read this column and fill it in this manner. 1, 2, third, and then the last one and here, and again you go here, like this you put it. So 1 x 0 0 and then 1 x and then 0 x. That is how 1 x, that's how we have to fill it. So once we have filled it here, we can read out the expression for C plus. DC is equal to C plus. If you read out this one, you have to only cover this. So you can see that that is nothing but B bar. So we have the equation DC is equal to C plus is equal to B bar. Similarly, you do it for B plus. So read out this column and fill it here. The column corresponding to C is equal to 0 has to be filled, followed by a column corresponding to 1. The corresponding entries are 0x, 0x, 0, 1, and then 1x, 1x. So that is how you get it. So now if you try to cover it, the whole row, this whole row can be covered, that is nothing but C. And the last, sorry, the whole column is C. And the last row is, you will have B A bar, B A bar. That is what DB is. Finally, A plus is put here. So you have to fill 0x, 0, 1 and then 1x, 0x, 1x, 0x. So if you try to club, you will see that this is one coverage that gives you B bar C. Sorry, this coverage gives, okay, B bar and then C. There is one coverage here that will give you B A bar, that is there. The other one has to be C A bar. So if you look at this one, yes, this is C and sorry, okay, this is we are covering these two. There are many ways of doing that one. That is why you are getting this expression. So now A bar can be taken common. We have C plus B. So once we have an equation for DA, DB, DC, we can easily arrive at the corresponding circuit. So here is the expressions for DA, DB, DC. So you populate the circuit with 3 D flip-flops, name them as A, B, C, and give a common clock to all of them, and then you find that DC is equal to B bar, so you put a B bar here. DB is equal to C plus A bar, so you can C plus B A bar, you get it. And DA is A bar plus C plus int and CRB, get it. Of course, if you want later, this is more a logical expression. If you want later on this, how do you get this A bar? You can take it from here. How do you get C and B? You can tap it from C and B here. So there are actually lines going from these points to these inputs, which are not shown for simplicity. Okay. So we have now designed a counter using D flip-flops. Well, now we will take the same example, but now we will show how we can carry out the same design, but now using a T flip-flop instead of a D flip-flop. We know the excitation table already. That is, this is the excitation table. When Q and Q next, Q plus is same, T is 0. The first and the last row. When Q and Q plus differ, then T is 1. So remember that. Next, the same state graph and therefore the same state table. So A, B, C are the 3 bits of the state. A plus, B plus, C plus are the next state. So from 0 you go to 1, 0, 0, and then from and so on. The same state graph which you have already seen. Now what we do? What we are interested is in deriving TA, TB, TC. So we should put 3 columns: TA, TC, TB, TA, write it out and then use them as Boolean functions of ABC, use K-map and get their expressions and then design. This is how you have to do. In the case of D flip-flops, A plus itself is DA, so there is no need for write. But TA and A plus are not easily related, so you got to put it like the way we did it in this example. Having put ABCs and A plus, B plus, C plus, we have written down explicitly TA, TB, TC and then got it. Now we will do it in a little different manner. What we will do is, suppose these ABCs are anyhow important, A plus, B plus, C plus are important. We have already drawn the K-map for A plus, B plus, C plus for some other reasons. Now we don't want to write explicitly TC, TB, TA and then get the corresponding K-map for TC, TB and TA. Rather, we would like to get these K-maps from these 3 K-maps. That is, from the K-map for A plus, can I derive the A-map for TA? From B plus, can I derive the K-map for TB and so on? That is possible if you carefully look at the property connecting the C plus and TC. For that, look at this C plus K-map of C plus. So here C spans the horizontal axis, AB spans the vertical axis. See, for the first column C is equal to 0, for the second column C is equal to 1. So we can split this K-map into 2 sub K-maps. One we call it as the C is equal to 0 half, another we call it as the T is equal to 1 half. Now look at the T is equal to 0 half column. So we know that C is 0 for this first column. Now in this column we have denoted the value of C plus in each of the squares. It can be 1, it can be 0 or it can be X. Well, how do we directly find the corresponding entries in the TC map, K map? Is what we are looking at. First thing is, if some entry For C plus is a don't care. We don't care what the C plus is going to be. We won't care what the excitation has to be. Whatever may be the excitation, it will go to some output. We don't even care what output or the next bit is going to be. So we can directly fill X in those places where there is an X here. Because when we don't carry the output, we don't carry the excitation also. So X is wherever there are X's, we can put an X. That is the first inference. Next is, this tells that C is equal to 0 for this entire row. And here we have a 1. It means C plus is 1. So when C is 1 and C plus is 1, it means the C flip-flop toggles. For that to happen, TC has to be 1. So TC has to be 1. Similarly, when C is equal to 0 and C plus is 0, the flip-flop does not toggle. Therefore, TC has to be 0 because it doesn't toggle. So this has to be 0. Similarly, the last bit, TC is 0, C plus is 0, and therefore TC has to be 0. Which means that whenever C plus is 1, because C is 0, all throughout this column, whenever C plus is 1, TC is also 1. When C plus is 0, TC is also 0. Which means that we can simply copy the C is equal to 0 half of the C plus K map and put it in the C is equal to 0 half of the TC K map. Clear? Now we look at the case of C is equal to 1 half. Again, when this whole column is 1 for which C is equal to 1. Whenever the output is irrelevant, the excitation is also irrelevant. So these two X's can simply map to corresponding X's in the TCK map. Now here C is equal to 1, here C plus is 1, which means both are 1, there is no toggling, and therefore TC is equal to 0. So when C plus is 1, we are putting 0, a complement entry in the TC. Similarly here, C is equal to 1 in this column, C plus is 0, there is a toggling, and therefore to do that, TC has to be 1. So if there were a 0 in this entry, there has to be a 1 in this entry. Which means that we have to complement the C is equal to 1 half of the K map of the C plus and copy it into the C is equal to 1 half of the K map of TC. Of course, the X's remains as X's in both the K maps. So this is the simple technique we have to do. Now that the technique is understood, we will carry it out for the B plus and A plus. But now we have to identify the two sub K maps that is relevant for the B plus and TB K maps. What are they? The B is equal to 0 half and B is equal to 1 half. You look at this one, these two rows are the one for which B is equal to 0. So the first two rows corresponds to B is equal to 0 half. These second, the third and fourth row as B is equal to 1. So that is B is equal to 1 half. So how are you going to fill it? I am going to use blindly the principle without even worrying about what is this bit in C plus, B plus, whether it flips and all. We simply apply this rule blindly. That is, the B is equal to 0 half K map of the B plus is the same as the B is equal to 0 half K map of TB. So this K map is simply copied here. That is 0, 1, X, X is copied as 0, 1, X, X. That's it. Similarly, when it comes to B is equal to 1 half, we have to complement the bits and put it, leaving X's as it is. So the B is equal to 1 half of the K map of the B plus and is complemented before filling the B is equal to 1 half of the TB K map. So this 0 becomes 1, 1, these two ones becomes zeros, the x remains x. So you got TB. Now you can simplify this. Did we simplify this? Yeah, this can also be simplified. So this is nothing but C bar B bar, and this is nothing but CB. Similarly, when it comes to this one, this is nothing but you have got C times B bar, and these two are C bar times A. So you have got it. Similarly, we will do it for A. Identify the A is equal to 0 and A is equal to 1 sub K maps. For the topmost row and the bottommost row, A is equal to 0. So the A is equal to 0 half is the first row and the last row. A is 1 for the middle two rows. This is the A is equal to 1 half. So how do we derive the TA K map? Just copy the A is equal to 0 half portion. 0 1 1x is copied as 0 1 1x. A is equal to 1 half is inverted before copy. X 0 0 translate to x 1 1. That's it. Now you can find out that TA, see there is one coverage here, that is nothing but C. There is another coverage here, nothing but B. So C plus B is the value of TB. Now we can arrive at or the design or synthesize the circuit for this counter based on the T flip-flop. So 3 flip-flops, all are T flip-flop, A, B, C. Common clock goes to all of them. Can be positive or negative edge triggered. So TA is here. It is nothing but CRB. So again, you can see that C is taken from this. They are shown in dotted lines. This is C and this is B. Okay. And for TB, it is CB bar plus C bar A. And for TC, it is CB plus C bar B bar. Okay. So this is how the design for the T flip-flop can be done. Okay. Well, so in the next lecture we will look at how JK flip-flop based design can be carried out. Okay. And then look at what will happen if you have states which are not specified, that certain states are absent, as in this case of the state graph. If it is absent, we should take some additional precautions while designing. Those two aspects we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.